considered heavy, Jamie. It was a really shocking bloody era, mate, for music. As far as I'm concerned, the way we saw it. Have you got any thoughts on the late '80s in as far as heaps? Okay.
Just kidding, yeah. No,
It was shocking.
I mean, I really loved that period between 78, 79 and 84, 85. You know, there was a load
Yeah,
of great stuff through that
absolutely.
period.
Yeah.
And the first time I went to the UK in 81, it was massive. The vibe was fantastic for all that stuff. It was just brilliant. By the time I'd left Trilogy and got back to the UK the second time, expecting it all to be the same, I was sadly mistaken.
Mm.
And you know, you'd go to the same pubs where it'd be rock and roll, and everyone be wearing spotted leather pants, and you know, they'd all have their tossed up hair and whatever. And I thought,
Yeah.
holy crap, what have I done? You know,
Capes.
this is bad. You know, this is real bad.
Yeah.
So much so, I mean, it's quite a funny story. With one of the first bands I joined over there, which was an Irish band called Driveshaft, who were a good AC/DC come Whitesnake, early Whitesnake sort of band musically.
Yeah.
You know, with a fantastic singer called Jerry Lane, who was totally brilliant in what he did. You know, we'd rehearsed unwittingly, you know, and eventually got a gig up in Shepherd's Bush, and the guys all disappeared. And I'm just sort of hanging around with my Trilogy shirt on and the studded belt and the jeans, you know, thinking, no, you only got a few minutes
Yeah.
to go to the gig, you know, where are all these guys, you know? Anyway, they come down the stairs and they've got all this Bon Jovi
I saw
stuff
this
on.
coming. Yeah. On.
And they looked at me and go, aren't you getting ready? I says, what do you mean? I thought you guys were ready. You know, and they say, oh, no, this is sort of what we wear, you know, and there's the drummer with the spandex and makeup and everything.
No.
And I just sort of realised my blood ran cold, and I thought, oh, crap, you know, this is not good, you know.
Sign of the times.
It was a sign of the times, and everyone was doing that because they all following that trend, you know, following that LA sort of
Yeah.
style. I mean,
Yeah.
having said that, I mean, I still really love a lot of things that bands like Motley Crue did. I think they still had some great music, and Guns N' Roses had some brilliant stuff. There's some good stuff to come out of it, but it just did get a bit dodgy, yeah.
Well, having said that, we respect you for not selling out. You know, like sold out's a commonly thrown around words.
I just couldn't do it.
Yeah,
I
well,
just
total
couldn't.
respect,
And I left
mate.
the band, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And
Did you play the gig that night? Or?
I played the gig, and I played a lot harder because of it. You know, I tried to smash everything in sight on the stage
Yeah.
while they pounced around in their spandex.
Their gear.
That's fine. It's great. You guys enjoy that, and I'll just
Yeah.
smash my Strat, which is what I did. You know?
Yeah. Well, I was actually I was going to go to the Iron Maiden concert with a mate, and we've never actually been out before, sort of thing. And he was actually a little concerned I might roll up in spandex or something like that. So would have been funny if I did. But I mean, there was bands like talking about sold out. Like I'd certainly classify. I love early White Snake, but the latest stuff's sus. Scorpions, good early stuff. They sold out.
Yeah, they all had to do it. It was just a commercial thing that they did to keep their careers alive.
Yeah.
The record company probably came along to David Coverdale and said, look, David,
Yeah.
you know, all this old blues stuff, it's sort of tired and
Yeah,
dead, you know, and
yeah.
all the kids are dressing up in tights. It's
Yeah.
about time you went and get your hair done and go to the health farm.
Yeah, and you got no integrity, David Coverdale. So yeah.
Oh, no, I mean, he still sang great through that period. And, you know, people loved it at the time. And, you know, I'm sure a lot of the bands have been through it. When I remember seeing Gene Simmons from Kiss talking
Oh.
about the same era.
Yeah.
You know, talking about how he looked like his grandmother or something with all the makeup and
Yeah.
tossed up hair and whatever,
Yeah.
you know.
But,
And
sorry.
yeah, it's just a sign of the times, and you know, you just take it as it is. And
But
it
Jamie,
moves
there's a pattern here. Just talking about Kiss, like we used the word retro before, like retro Kiss that sells.
yeah, it's true. I mean, there's nothing like a good, solid, simple, quality rock and roll band that can play their instruments well, write good songs, and not be too poncy with all the crap, you know.
Yeah.
Black t-shirt and jeans,
Yeah.
and a decent Strat and a Marshall,
Yeah.
and you're laughing.
Oh, absolutely, mate. You mentioned you went to England before, Jamie, and you have been associated with Brian May, Cozzy Powell, drummer. Could you tell us about these situations and these guys, please?
Yeah, that was a long story as well, but that was related to the band that wore the tights and makeup.
Okay.
I mean, I left them at the time after that experience. You know, I just realised that it was never going to work for me doing that, and I organised for Ashley Cook to come over, and we were going to try and do something over there, and I found a really good singer from a band called Satan from Newcastle. He was a great singer.
Yep.
We got this bass player who'd been playing with a band called Angel Witch. We had one rehearsal, and it died in the arse. Now, Ashley really didn't like London and had to come home.
Yep.
You know, had to go home, and it all fell on its ass.
Yep.
Anyway, I went off and did a lot of unusual other things, and I still kept in touch with the Irish fellas because they're still good guys, even if we didn't like the image thing. Whatever else, we still got on and respected each other and liked the music and stuff.
I'm sure you laugh about it now.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you know, they were in the studio with a fella called John Sinclair who played keyboards with Ozzy.
Okay.
Ozzy Osbourne, and Uriah Heep and a bunch of other bands. And their band was still falling apart. You know, and they didn't have a guitar player that was really working, and you know they were set to go in the studio. So I spoke to their manager, and we went back in and started recording their album with them. You know, they had a lot of potential. And you know, poor old John, the producer, was just really busy, intensely busy, and you know, obviously when you're on the road with Ozzy, that's pretty hardcore sort of stuff. And we had the album that we wanted to try and get finished, and I was talking to their manager, and she said, look, the original idea of this band was to actually get rid of the band and just keep the singer, Jerry, and get Cozy Powell and Mel Galley from Whitesnake, and probably Neil Murray to play bass, and it would be like a Whitesnake without David Coverdale type band, which ironically would have been the best thing they could ever have done. But credit to Jerry, the singer, he didn't want to let his mates down. You know, so he said, nope, I keep my mates and I stay with my mates, which is pretty impressive. Integrity, but unfortunately his mates all drifted off down to an Irish pub somewhere, and that was the end of that, you know.